Eyes are considered the windows to the soul, but other parts of your face and body can say just as much about you. Sure, your actions can be just as important in defining who you are, but you might just be giving away your personality type by your wide forehead, a short nose, and high cheekbones, or lightly colored eyes, a long nose, and pale skin. Everybody's a unique combination of attributes, and the Hub's breaking it down for you. Here are the body features that reveal amazing things about your personality. And once you're done learning about these features, click on the subscribe button. We're all works in progress, and the Hub will always have new and insightful ideas to help you figure out more and more things about yourself. Toes. Like everybody else's body parts, no two feet are the same, and the size and shapes of your toes might not only give you a better idea of the type of person you could be, they also might confirm where you hail from. Much like palm reading, reflexologists have read enough feet to estimate the similarities between people's foot shape and the cultures they come from. For instance, if your big toe leads the pack and all other toes recede smaller and smaller from it, then you might have Egyptian heritage. If your big toe and next two toes are of the same length, with your last two toes being shorter, you might be a Roman. If your second toe is longer than your big toe, you could be a Greek islander. If your big toe sticks out above the rest and the other four toes are around the same length, you likely have Germanic blood. And if your big toe and middle toe are equal in length, but your second toe sticks out like a sore thumb, you could be of Celtic descent. While staring down at your feet is often a sign of shyness, it could save you an expensive DNA test with Ancestry.com. Eyebrows. While hair can be used to accentuate beauty and eyes can be used to show true feelings, eyebrows can help define expressions. They accentuate the face, help show anger, surprise, and, if one eyebrow is raised, show you that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has something cooking. And if your eyebrows are curved, you might be a more right-brained and colorful character. Straight or bushy brows indicate a straightforward, powerful, and masculine person. The higher your eyebrows are on your forehead, people might perceive you as having your head in the clouds. But if your eyebrows are lower and closer to your eyes, they may not think you're down to earth. Rather, you could be seen as someone who questions everything, a shrewd and perhaps aloof individual. Eyebrows are often seen as an indicator of intimacy, and asymmetrical brows can also show dominance. For example, if a woman's right eyebrow is higher than her left eyebrow, she might be the more controlling partner in her relationship. You can tweeze, shape, and mold your eyebrows as much as you want, even shave them off, like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the original Terminator. But know that the original shape and texture of your brows is what might best label the real you. Hair. As we've evolved, hair has retreated from other parts of our bodies and is now most concentrated on the tops of our heads. And yet, some prefer to keep that area hairless too. Hair can be used for warmth, sculpted for beauty, and colored for a variety of reasons. But our natural colors and types indicate some interesting genetic details. Blonde women, for instance, are seen as having higher self-esteem, and they're better at catching people's attention. There may be an evolutionary reason behind this, since blonde hair is always a rare trait. Seen as preferable in ancient times, blonde-haired women had an easier time attracting mates. Nowadays, as it's genetically less necessary, blonde hair is becoming rarer and rarer. Since people want what's hard to come by, like the collector's baseball card or Princess Diana Beanie Baby, it's no surprise that blonde is such a popular hair dye color. Redheads, on the other hand, have it harder than anybody else, as they're known to handle pain the worst. Statistically, they need more pain medication and more specialized treatment, and even though they're hairless, naturally bald men have an average IQ of 119, 4 points higher than the average men with hair. Bald really is beautiful. Ears. Do you have the right eyes, nose, and finger-like for a leadership role, but still aren't convinced that suits you? Then look in a mirror and check out your ears. According to new studies undertaken by evolutionary biologists, the more symmetrical a person's body, the more evolved they are. Symmetrical people are considered more conventionally attractive, more athletic, and have better health habits. But leaders with asymmetrical traits may be more apt at relating to the teams of people they're guiding and may prove in the long run to be more effective. The symmetry or asymmetry of ears certainly plays a factor. In Eastern facial studies, a special emphasis is placed on the prominence of a person's ears. When looking at someone head-on, the ideal set of ears lay between the eyebrows and the bottom of the nose. Tops of the ears that are longer tend to indicate intelligence, and the more bulkin, the better. Lobes that hang low indicate a fruitful and prosperous life, which is why in Southeast Asian cultures, Buddha is often depicted with low-hanging earlobes. So if your ears are lacking in size and stature, add a few weights to those earrings and see if you can get a few more millimeters for good luck. Finger length. According to recent reports, the size of your ring finger is a telling indicator of the type of person you are. Ring finger length is believed to be dependent on the amount of testosterone you were given in your mother's womb. If your ring finger is longer than your index finger, you may be outgoing, friendly, and the life of the party. Once you settle down, you would be ideal for certain leadership roles, like sales or other business ventures. If your index finger is longer than your ring finger, you could be a sober, take-charge lady or gentleman, able to make tough decisions on short notice, whether as an elected official leading a rambunctious populace or a school teacher leading a rowdy classroom. If your ring finger and index finger are of the same length, you could be warm and balanced, good at keeping secrets and helping others navigate tough emotional waters that you yourself may have already traversed. This sounds like you would be a great member of many different medical professions, particularly excelling as a therapist. So if you haven't found your true calling just yet, look at your hands and see if your index and ring fingers will serve as guides. Eye color. Whether your eyes are a brilliant blue, a warm brown, or a zombie red, the sockets tell a lot of stories that even our mouths won't share. From the crow's feet around your eyes, showing whether we've lived laugh-filled lives, to the bold colors of our irises, eyes are actually a strong determining factor in the type of personality you're interacting with. And now there's some scientific basis in this. At Sweden's Örebro University, a study was undertaken to find how deep of a connection is there between the eyes and the soul. Accordingly, the color of our eyes are decided by the exact genetic details that govern the frontal lobes of our brain. Dark eyes are associated with leadership skills and athletic prowess. More than just a wide's tale, the darker the eye, the more melanin a person has in their system, and it may be an indicator that their brain actually works faster as well. Those with blue eyes are seen as having a strong resolve, and while outsiders may perceive them as weaker, they often have the ability to withstand pain better than others. Another study confirmed that females with light blue eyes are better at handling the pain of childbirth than their dark-eyed counterparts. Skin type. Even the appearance of your skin type gives people an idea of the kind of person you may be, whether you agree or not. If you have shiny, oily skin, you may be considered an active go-getter. They're great public speakers and confident workers who know how to present their best self. If you have an average skin type, not too dry or not too oily, you may be considered more thoughtful. While witty and engaging, you generally keep to yourself with a small circle of close friends. Instead of the latest hot skincare products on the market, you may be more inclined to take a natural approach or follow an old-fashioned method of taking care of yourself. If you're prone to pimples, you may be a considerate and attentive individual who cares about others but is more indecisive with their own actions. If you have sensitive skin, you could be sensitive on the inside as well. Seeing common struggles others are facing, you could be willing to share in that struggle and help those around you any way you can. If you have an irregular skin tone, you could be more shy and withdrawn, but have strong social convictions. Finding a way to best express yourself is key. Nose. Based on a true story, Cyrano de Bergerac is a classic play about a man with a beautifully poetic mind trapped behind an unattractively long nose. Not that we're judging his schnoz. The other characters in his life did all the judging for us. But it should be noted that noses play a big role in our perception of others. Facial reading is an ancient art, and those trained in it believe each facial feature plays a part in the story of your life. To them, the look of your nose predicts the time of your 40s. If you have a smooth, long nose, you'll be very productive from ages 40 to 50. The larger the nose, the more of a perfectionist you're expected to be. Although if your nose is bony, it's difficult for you to move on from particular times in your life. If your nose is on the wider side, it's believed you might set more time aside to enjoy the finer things in life, while smaller noses signify that you may be more focused and efficient in your work. The more crooked your nose, the more difficult your life is expected to be, even if it's crooked as the result of an accident, like you walking into a lamppost or getting checked in a hockey game. Forehead. Go ahead and draw an imaginary E on your forehead. We'll wait. If you drew it as you see it from your angle, you may be more self-centered in life. If you traced it backwards as if to make it readable by others facing you, you may be more concerned with making others more comfortable and more empathetic to the feelings of other people. But outside of this mental task, the forehead can be a helpful indicator as to the leanings of certain people. For instance, rounded foreheads, like celebrity Christina Ricci, might indicate a person has a more compassionate and creative mindset. If your forehead slants back into your scalp, you might be more business-driven, outspoken about professional deals, but more guarded about personal feelings. Ryan Seacrest has a forehead like this, and although this is all based on assumptions, this may indicate why he's more of an interviewer and host than a contestant or star. If you have a flat forehead, you may be someone who really stops and considers all options before deciding on a path forward. Brad Pitt is a noticeable celebrity with this type of feature, and it may be why he's been able to pick and choose such successful roles for himself. Face shape. Some people get self-conscious over their inability to be conventionally attractive. Maybe they have a one-of-a-kind look, or one feature that stands out to them as being imperfect, even if no one else notices. Well, perhaps they're overanalyzing their appearance because at the end of the day, everyone has some portion of their physical body that they view as imperfect, and most, if not all, features can be subconsciously judged by others as defining points of their personality, right down to the shape of the person's face. People with wider faces tend to have higher levels of testosterone and are considered to statistically have more self-confident and alpha personas. This has been a deep-seated part of our evolution, and today, capuchin monkeys are sound examples of animals displaying this trait, with wider-faced monkeys serving in more leadership roles. The same can be said of athletes, as professional soccer players, for instance, have been found to have wider faces on average. Although it's our actions that ultimately define us, it's interesting to note that President John F. Kennedy had a wider face than President Chester A. Arthur, and in the long run, he arguably had a more influential term as well. The body is a true indicator of age and health, but who knew it was so connected to the inner workings of your mind? While the blood that flows through our veins carries the DNA material passed down to us from generations past, it also feeds our external features, showing the world where we come from, how we feel, and where we might go. Most importantly, it shows others who we are. So next time you look in the mirror, be thankful for these body features that reveal amazing things about your personality. And after you spend a full day getting to know the deep and detailed personalities of the people around you, come back and spend some time with your friends at